What's up, guys? So in this video I quickly want to show you how you can ignore TypeScript errors um, during production. So let's say, for instance, you're working on a project and you want to quickly test out a feature on the browser, and maybe you have a couple of TypeScript errors. So in this case, let's just say we are missing something and this is now a big error. If we try doing git push, and for instance, let me come right here. I hosted this project on Netlify. So if I do a git push, it's going to trigger a deploy, and that deploy is basically working with this port right here. So TS is going to run this, which means it's going to check our TypeScript, and if he notices that we have TypeScript issue, the build right here is going to fail. I was supposed to demo it out, but my battery is kind of down, so but I'll just show you a better workaround about it. The first things first, let me quickly correct this. While we're here, let me just get rid of this one and bring it right here. I might not get it autocomplete. Okay. All right, so basically this is an old project I worked on and abandoned. I might revisit it again. It's just basically a React or a TypeScript React starter file for a landing page. So I think I didn't use Tailwind. Yeah, it just SARS and a bunch of utility classes. I think if I have a controller right here. Okay, this is running. So this is in dark by default. If I change this to light, come to the website, it should change to light. And if I change to dark, back, yeah, it's going to switch to dark. I think I also have a toggle button, but I think it's hidden, but it's right here. So it's just a bunch of stuff I did with SARS. And let me know if you need it so that I will just like work, add some more features to it, and probably add a better documentation. But I don't really know. Let's go back to what this video is about. So to mitigate that situation, what we'll do first of all is to let me first kill this terminal, and let me just commit this, same make changes, so that we'll start from a blank stuff. I'll push the changes right here. So this should actually trigger a new build, and right here, if I refresh, the git commit message should show right here. So the first thing we want to do is actually create a new branch. So I will say git checkout -b, and let's call this staging. So typically in a real world scenario, you would have like multiple branches, because you won't be doing everything in the main. So the idea right now is to actually deploy our staging branch to prod and see our changes while ignoring this build right here. And the only places we check this TypeScript build is when we want to merge to our main. I hope that makes sense. So since we're on the staging branch, we'll come to the package.json file, and I'll copy this down, then I'll add a check to this. I'll say build check. This can be whatever you want it to be. Then I will just leave this so that when we push, Netlify is going to read this npm run build and not this one. And if it's reading this one, means it's not going to like check for TypeScript errors. And there is a feature on Netlify. So if I go to site configuration and go to continuous deployment, I think is, where is it? Yeah, this one. So branches and deploy contents. So if I configure by default, if you are deploying to Netlify, yours will be unknown. But I set mine to all. You can also specify the branches. So any branch I push now should automatically be deployed, and I'll see like a preview of that branch, which is what we want. So after doing this, next thing to do, and I don't know if you've already guessed, we are going to be using GitHub Actions. So to do that, you create a folder called github.github, and inside that folder, we'll create another folder called workflows, and inside that folder we'll also create a file. This can be whatever you want, but the it should be a it should end with a .yaml file. So we'll call this CI. All right, cool. So what I'll do is just to copy the code and just run through it. All right, so what we have right here is not that complex, but we'll just walk you through it. First of all, we're just setting the name to the actual name of the file right here, and this right here is the main is one of the main important things. And this basically specifies that the workflow, this entire workflow, should be triggered whenever there's a pull request. And you can also make it whenever there's a pull request and whenever you do a git push. I might be wrong about the syntax, but you can look that up as well. But ours is going to be just when we make a pull request from our staging branch. And these jobs basically defines a set of jobs that we run as part of the workflow, and one of the set of jobs is this build right here. And this build basically specifies that this job should run on this Ubuntu latest version that is being provided by GitHub. I think that different versions, you can also look that up as well. And the other one of the other jobs is the steps, and these steps actually check out the code from the repository so that it can be used in the workflow. So this just check out our repo so that it can be used. Then we'll create a name to use in Node.js file with the version. So it uses version 14 by default, but if you want to add more versions, you just have to put this inside an array and specify the version. I think 20 is out right now. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at 14 because it's going to work fine as well. Then we're also installing the dependency from our package.json. And lastly, this is where we're doing the TypeScript checking. So during the workflow, when we make a pull request, it's going to run and do the build check to see if there's any TypeScript errors before actually merging the code to our main branch. So essentially, let me just recap what we did. So basically, this GitHub Actions workflow is designed to run a continuous integrations, which stands for CI in short, to just process a pull request. And when a pull request is created or updated, first of all, it will check out this repo, set up a node version, install dependencies, and perform a TypeScript errors to ensure that there's no errors rather. So what we are going to do right now is we're going to test it out. So I will get rid of this so that there's going to be an error. And if I do a git add, say git commit, say added the okay, let me just say git of actions, if I do a git push, it should tell me to do this stuff right here, which I'll quickly do. All right, so that has been pushed to so the first thing we'll do is to see that we are having a pull request here, but we'll leave it for now. And you also see that this branch is building, and this is actually going to like publish and work, but it's not going to be meshed to main. So let me just use a real life scenario that I currently faced recently. That was why I came across something like this. So I was asked to add a new feature, and I was running to a website, and I was running into some couple of TypeScript errors that I didn't want to like fix immediately, but I wanted to also see the like a more a real life version of it on the web with an actual URL. So I had to create a staging branch. So if I click this now, it's going to append this staging, which is the branch name. So if you give this another branch, that would be here. But you see that this is working fine, as you can see. So you can see that if this is working well, you can even push this to add this to main if you want to. It's going to still work the same way. But if this is working well, then you can show it to your product manager or whatever you show it to. Me, I'm a freelancer, so in my case, I'll show it to my client. And if he approves it, then I will just fix the TypeScript errors and merge it to the main. So I'll close this out. And if I come here and click on compare pull request, create pull request, so this is going to run our GitHub actions. So let's give it some time. So if I click on details, as you might have already guessed it, this workflow is going to fail because we have a TypeScript error. So let's see. All right, so as you can see, is like letting us know that there's a TypeScript error we need to fix. And the cool thing now is now left to you to decide what you want to do with it. So you can decide to actually merge the pull request to the main, which is going to work fine because Netlify runs npm run build based on the what we actually passed right here. But if you don't want to be lazy, you can just quickly fix the TypeScript errors right now. Then if I do a git commit, I say fix the tx errors and do a git push now, then this is going to check again. It's going to run our GitHub actions, and this time hopefully it doesn't throw any error because we fixed the TypeScript issues right here. And this is also going to like run the staging branch again, and ignore this deploy preview is coming from Netlify to GitHub stuff. It's just to deploy to preview your staging branch, and this expires after some time, but this doesn't. So right now you see that all checks have passed because there was no TypeScript errors. All right, so I believe, okay, this is still run. Let's give this some time to run. All this is just coming from Netlify building and all. I think once this is done, this should be checked as well. So let me refresh this. So you can see we can still preview our deploy as well. and you can see all checks were passed and completed successfully. Now you can now merge, confirm merge. All right, cool. So if you go to the code, see we have been merged to main, and if we come in now, this is when the actual production branch will build again. And this production branch, remember the production branch is still running this. So we're actually doing the checking now behind the scenes instead of during deployment. So let's give that a minute. Now it's been published, and you can see there's a main, but with this now you don't need to add a main, just get rid of this. It's still going to work fine. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. Hope you found it helpful. Do well to leave a like, share and subscribe. Till next time.